Hello, everybody. We are in the live analysis room. We are NonFarm Payrolls today. Hi, Dale. Hi, Valeria.
Hi,
Hi.
Mauricio. Hi, Vale. How are you, everyone?
All fine
Good.
in here. How are you guys?
Let's rock and roll today, guys. Great to
Yeah.
be with you 3 times this week, guys. It's been an action-packed week. What's the market looking for, Val?
Okay, well, the market is looking for a reading around 225,000 new jobs added for May. The fact is that a previous number was 223, right? And both numbers are below the average we have seen in 2014 and early 2015, which was around 266, right? That was the average of 12 months before the shockingly disappointing March reading, right? Which ended up 85,000, just 85 when revisited. So the market is today, as I was saying, looking for 225 new jobs and the unemployment rate to remain steady at 5.4%, right? And well, I do believe that, in my personal view, that won't be enough to give the greenback much room to advance. It may give a temporal boost to the greenback if we have something above that expected and in between to 25 to 40. But I do believe that it will take more than one good payroll, right, to
Yes.
restore confidence in the greenback, restore confidence that the Fed will rise rates sooner than later, right?
Yeah, talking about confidence, Christine Lagarde shattered confidence yesterday by saying that the U.S. should not raise rates this year, which market participants took as a sign of economic weakness. And even though the market recovered on that, it sold off pretty negatively yesterday. A lot of the stock indexes are sitting right on a cliff.
Yeah,
So maybe bad news is good news for the market. We'll see. I'm not sure how the market's going to react to this. If they want bad news, so there is no near-term risk of a rate hike, or they want good news to show that the economy is better than Christine Lagarde thinks.
thanks. Yeah, well, we had I do believe, a quite strong reaction with the release of U.S. inflation late May. Remember, the
Yeah.
inflation and employment are the two legs in which the Federal Reserve bases its decisions on rates, right? In its inflation to be higher than it currently is, closer to 2%. Unemployment, of course, being at best more creation, less unemployment rates. So if we have something really nice today, we may see a strong dollar rally, although I'm not sure if it would hold. You know what I mean? I believe it will be a short-term rally in the greenback, meaning maybe it will last today, maybe extend into Monday, but it won't be enough. Okay?
Do we still have to worry about the Greek Parliament this weekend, Val?
Yeah, that's another stone in the path we have over the weekend.
Plus
Uh,
OPEC too.
Yeah,
what?
the OPEC, the crude oil organization, OPEC.
OPEC.
Yeah, OPEC. Yeah,
The
we
OPEC.
have both the OPEC and Greece making notes in the middle. The fact is that Greece has decided not to pay the IMF today, right? And they are asking for a delay in the payments of this June back to the end of the month, which for me means that the country is out of cash and can't pay unless it gets a new agreement. And at the same time, the Prime Minister Syripas has rejected the proposal made by its creditors, right, in between yesterday and late Wednesday. So it's a big hurdle there we have in the euro. I don't know if I have to trade payrolls today. I may be watching more attention to Aussie or to dollar Japanese yen rather than the euro because of Greece, and I will avoid a bit more probably also the pound and Canadian dollar because both are highly correlated with crude. And
There's a number out of Canada too today.
okay, yeah,
I believe their employment report.
Yeah, we will have the employment report of May,
yeah,
the labor productivity, the participation rate, yeah, and
A lot of e-waivers are pointing towards 117, 118 in the euro before this rally terminates.
117, 118.
Yeah, as long as that 110.75 level holds. You know, if it holds a pivot on this pullback, I just think there's probably at least one buy stop above 1466. Don't you think they want them? Shake out the euro bears? That would really shake them out over that 114.60.
Yeah, but we're on 1460, and the high we had. My next bullish target comes at 1530, which is February monthly high, right?
Yeah, so it looks like they're looking at your 1.618 level for a possible move in the euro. On this chart you're showing right here, what's that, about 118, 119? 1.618. Yeah, above that.
Yeah, up
above
to there.
that line, the horizontal line.
Yeah, well, and there I have seen a couple of questions in the room. Most are talking and asking about dollar Japanese yen. Usually the dollar Japanese yen is the first one to react to payrolls readings, right? And it moves pretty straight alongside with that. I mean, if the numbers are above expected, right, it would probably go higher. If the numbers are below expected, it would probably go lower. The fact is that my line in the sand for a bearish continuation in this pair stands at 123.6070. So if we had a really bad number, really bad, and the pair lost 100 pips down to this level, we may find some buying interest around that, you know. If we lost it, however, the slide can extend, as we were commenting yesterday, down to the 22.50, 660 region. But keep in mind that this one will be the first one, and probably one of the largest movers today. And to the upside, I believe that 25 is a quite tough level, right? A psychological figure. So, and I do suspect a lot of stuff's above it, right? So my take is that if the number is something above 250 or something like that, we can break through that level and add another 50, 60 pips to the upward side in a year.
In fact, that would be the third drive, Val. If you see, we've had two drives so far. Potential third drive to a top in the yen around 25.5. I'm just guesstimating, but it will not confirm. This will be the second non-confirmation in the yen at new highs, and I'm considering short positions at new highs if that divergence holds its integrity under 70. But a friend of mine said, Dale, you love to hear the ice crack, so. You know, it's not a conservative trade to be shorting the yen into new highs, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, because the dollar Japanese yen is one of those pairs that hardly retraces, and when it gets into a trend, it goes. So I'm not sure if I would like to fade it.
I know a lot of people talking that formation measure is 128. But why can't we go 125.5 and then get that 122 and then go to 128, 130, 135, what all the super yen bears or super USD yen bulls are saying. Those are high targets.
Yeah, the other thing I was following today is the pound that, for me, it's still quite bearish, you know. The bearish trend is pretty much in place. We had that recovery yesterday, and we fell back to 53 today. The market's general sense is that they have rushed at the beginning of the year to pricing a much better economic recovery that it actually happened in the United Kingdom. So I do believe that I will be trading this pair lower, right? Should the report came above expected, meaning if we have a strong payroll reading, this one will probably fell below 53, right? But if we have a tepid report in the US, the upside seems a bit more limited to me, meaning I would expect sellers to surge above the level, above it. So
it's definitely been underperforming the euro until yesterday. EG finally pulled back.
Yeah. I don't know, someone. Someone
How's
says,
everyone doing?
when do we know will the dollar go down or up if the non-farm payrolls are 210? You will know around 30 minutes after the news. You need to let the market adjust the news, price in the numbers, and then set a trend. Honestly, the number is not just the market mover is not just the main number, right? If we have a strong job creation, but the unemployment rate ticks higher, and we have negative revisions to past months, then the dollar can go lower anyway, despite the strong main reading. So it's not just one number we need here. We have three numbers to care of, and the tree has to come in line to actually set a straight direction after the news. If we have revisions in unemployment rate and the non-farm payroll itself. And someone asked me,
Wage growth is part of that formula.
what?
Wages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wages, yeah, indeed. The fact is that the market was not paying much attention to wages last year, but it seems that ever since 2015 started, weak wages are affecting also the number. But I do believe it's in a less, with less strength, you know? Someone is asking about gold being higher, and the fact is that the trend is bearish. So if somehow the dollar fails with a bad number, we may advance in here in the short term, but dominant trend is still bearish. That means that if the report is actually good, we may see the metal breaking below 1170 here, which is early May monthly low, and extend its decline, you know. So I don't know. Both for me, I mean, gold and pound are clearly bearish, right? So the reaction after the report, right, will be stronger if it's dollar favor. If the report is against the greenback, then the upside seems limited for me. Unless we have, no, I don't know, something below 100, that will be awful, and the dollar will sunk.
Yeah, gold should have done better with the energy rally and the dollar decline, and it didn't respond to either of those two positive correlations.
Neither respond to the risk aversion generated by Greece. It's not responding to anything that implies a rise in gold prices, right?
Yeah. So it'll probably rally 20 today.
What?
So it'll probably rally 20 today because you can't find a reason to buy it. But I do agree. I think we're headed towards that 1140 major support, and we're going to take it out.
In here, yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, just a measured move from that high to where we are now, you just arithmetically, you know, what is that, 1230 at the high?
Yeah.
And 1170, 1180 here.
Yeah.
So you subtract $50 from there, there's 1130.
Yeah.
Take out the last bulls, you know, a lot of stops, people will throw in the towel under that 1140 support level. You know how Mr. Market is, Val. He's going to shake out as many people as possible before the move they're looking for happens, then most likely without them. So, Mr. Market. Got to think like him.
But this 1170 seems a strong floor. Yes, I do believe the gold is bearish, someone's asking. But, well, let's see what happens today. Someone's asking about New Zealand dollar, and honestly, I have not been following it much lately. I'm not sure where the pair is, but pretty bearish, in fact, for me, the New Zealand dollar. We have the Reserve Bank of New Zealand meeting next week, but overall the market is looking for further rate cuts and supporting the Reserve Bank of New Zealand wanting a weaker New Zealand dollar. So my take in here is that we are going to witness is further weakness, and if somehow today we advance on poor dollar data, 72 will be maybe a nice level to get short in here. I don't see much of a case of an upside in here either.
I'd like to announce my candidacy for President of the United States. I'm also throwing my hat into the ring with the other million Republicans.
Yeah.
Mauricio said he can't turn TV on. He's afraid there's going to be another Republican entering the campaign.
That's right, yeah.
Well, you have
I
to
can't believe it.
get me a green card so I can vote for you.
I play music at our press conferences, you know, whether it's copyrighted or not. As a president, I don't think YouTube could find me. So look forward to leading the U.S. into the 2020s. Vote for Pinkert. All right, I'm through. Pinkert for president.
Nostra president.
Yeah, Nostra Pinkert. So Adam Button's going to be joining us, Mauricio, after the number. FX Street's Man of the Year will be with us.
Yeah, FS3 Man of the Year will be with us. Adam Button will be here at 15 minutes after the data.
Yeah.
And I was reading a piece from Adam.
Yeah, the 6 reasons to be short euro, he tweeted.
Well, no, it was like, I didn't read that. You can comment us about that, but I am right now reading the NonFarm Payrolls preview.
Yeah.
And he make a case for the dollar bullish. And he said his favorite trade is to buy the US dollar immediately on a gut number and about an hour after the release is off. Is in soft. So is his recommendation right now. What did he say in the article?
I didn't read it, but it's obviously ties in with his bullish view on the dollar and bearish view on euro.
Yeah.
When I interviewed him early this week, he was saying he's looking to be that we could see a retest of the 104 level in the euro. So he's bearish.
Yeah, I see. He said that for seasonals there are Australians and.
Oh yeah, the seasonals are positive in Aussie, the pound, and crude, I believe.
I was expecting a bad turn for stocks, right?
Yeah, he turned. He's been pretty positive indices for a long time, and he started getting sanguine about them on the last interview. So that's a little change of tone for Adam.
Yeah. And what was saying Rob Bucker about euro dollar? He said like 112.50 and then an intense sell off to love. He said that. I don't remember exactly. But in your interview with Rob.
Oh, with Rob Bucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like he was going to look for strength to sell into as well. And Val's number 1220 from yesterday, that we could go to 1120 if we take 1220 out. So
we are there.
Yeah.
Struggling around the 61.8% retracement of the latest.
Yeah, it might be a good buy where those moving averages are converging. Where is that?
11, 10, 20. So
yeah,
that's a good level.
I might try it there in the next 72 hours. I don't know if I'll try it initially if it tests it, but if I see that area, that pivot holding, maybe there is a case for cleaning out the buy stops above 114.60.
So we are expecting there is somebody asking what happened to USD if NonFarm Payrolls data is good, and we are expecting a bullish dollar movement, right?
Yeah.
It's very good, right? Something above 40 or something like that, and with the unemployment rate steady at 5.4 and no down revisions to previous numbers. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, keep in mind we have a little delay in the transmission, so you will be hearing our comments like 30 seconds later after the release.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point to remind people. We have a 30 seconds delay, so you will watch the reaction and you will see the numbers, and then 30 seconds after, we will be checking the react of the reaction.
And beware of the initial reaction being, I don't know, positive or negative in the main headline and the market later reversing if we have revision. So give the market a few minutes to digest the news and move.
And as far as I remember, everybody recommends that to wait at least 15 minutes to do anything.
Yeah.
Just showing everyone I have my suit on for payroll day. My resume is on the FX Street website. Okay, everyone, it's a tradition for me to dress up on Casual Friday.
I see.
Yeah, everything can happen today, guys, so it's not a good idea to take positions right now.
My gut, guys, is to fade dollar strength over the next 72 hours. And preferred trades would be the long side of euro and the short side of Canada or yen. So we'll see.
I won't touch Canadian dollar because they release the employment figures alongside with the US ones, so that can be a big mess today.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything today.
In Canadian dollar.
I did do something yesterday. I lost a bet to Abel on Wednesday. I said I'm not going to trade until after the non-farm payrolls, and he won. He knows me that I have a hard time not trading, so I did a trade yesterday. I like being flat. It's good to relax. Isn't it good to relax and not care about where the markets go for a day or so, guys?
Yeah.
For me, it is. I need to do that. And you know what? I actually see the market better when I'm out than when I'm in. You know, because you're more objective. It's hard to be objective when you have a position on. Harder, anyway. Because you have a bias, and you've made your bet, and you've made your bed. But when you're flat, and it doesn't matter where the markets are going, you're just looking at what you see and not what your desired outcome is. Anyway, it's that way for me.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just a blind squirrel in the middle of a snow-covered forest on a moonless night looking for a nut.
Just one?
A blind squirrel in the middle of a snow-covered forest.
I don't want one nut. I want.
You don't want a nut? They're very good for you.
I want a whole bunch of nuts, not just one.
Yeah, yeah. One at a time. You can only eat one at a time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing. I talk to people, you know, you don't have to know where all 20 pairs are going. Get to know one like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy in Lard that can trade 20 pairs. I don't know how he does it. But he's, you know, all over the place and effective doing it. I have a hard time. I don't know about you, Val, but I'm kind of like a one position at a time guy. I rarely have 3 different positions on.
I do either. I may have one, maybe 2 in a exceptional day, but that's the most. And for trading, I watch the market. I follow everything because I want to know what's going on in the market. So, but I trade maybe 3, 4 pairs the most.
Yeah.
Usually, maybe I find the chance or see something that I like, so I want. But it's weird. 3
When I
years.
was on the floor of the CME, I knew guys that never left their trading pit. They were a cattle trader for 30 years, and they didn't have to know what was going on in other pits. They were successful in one.
Yeah, well, everyone has its own style, and I don't know.
Yeah.
What makes you comfortable, it's what works for you.
That's what Jack Schwager says. Find a trading style that fits your personality. It's one of the most important things to do. And he should know he's interviewed all the wizards. So Jennifer's looking to buy the euro after a spike, so she's looking for that. Alex Gomez is here. Rob Kane said he'll vote for me for president. Jennifer FX is in the house. Jennifer's going to have a baby.
Really?
Yeah. She's going to become a mom. Ron's here. Ron, are you on the floor of the Amsterdam Exchange right now for the NFP, or are you home?
Okay. Few minutes, guys, and then we'll renew. My charts seems like freezing, but they are not. Let's just wait and see for the payrolls.
3 more minutes.
Yeah, I was thinking that the early advance acknowledgements went up to 525, sorry. It's like the market is really actually expecting a good reading, pricing it in. Maybe because we have a more consistent ADP survey early this week than we had previously. 201 for the ADP is a low number. Oh.
I saw a chart on Twitter that shows the S&Ps top 7 years and 7 months apart, if this is the high. Pretty interesting looking chart. I don't know who's Skyping me right now, but I'm busy. Oh, it's Adam.
I really hope we have some action today. I don't want to disappoint the market movement.
Okay, here we go.
The Greek Parliament will have a meeting today, right? Also at 6 p.m. local time. Aware of that, guys.
Okay. Adam is saying, Mauricio, that he hasn't gotten an invite yet, so he needs the link.
I will send him.
Okay,
In
I'll
a
let him
couple of
know.
minutes after that, so no worries.
Market getting nervous. 1 minute to go. Less than 1 minute. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. Payroll. When are we going to have a confetti payroll? Like an ECB meeting payroll? So ECB confetti.
Doggy.
Oh, whoa. Pretty wild movements, but the dollar is
Oh my God.
280 above the average, as I was saying. Really shocked to the upside. Canadian
Wow.
dollar moving like 200 pips in 1 second. Unemployment rate tick higher, 5.5%. Beware of that, guys. Gold it lost 1170. Oh my. Really strong reading in the US. Wages are up.
Where are we at in the year? 1120.
Yeah, we
So
did.
we're at that number.
Yeah, if we lost 11, the next one is 1050, the next strong support, but I will watch for revision now. The 50 pips in the end had come in a blink.
See how you could blow out your account in 1 minute, guys? So, you know, my favorite expression is the markets will be here after the NFP. As you can see, they are. Make sure your equity is.
Yeah.
That move in Canada took out, you know, every technical setup that you had. Look at that range in Canada. Tell me that's tradable. Look at that. These candles. Canada coming off, yen a little bit of a tail.
Yeah, I'm looking for revisions. Yeah, previous month was revisit lower, but slightly to 21 final against 223 previous. So really little relevant. The only not so good read number is that 5.5% unemployment rate. That despite ticking higher is within Fed's target, so it's not actually really bad. But let's see how the market takes it.
Nice tail in the pound compared to the euro.
It tests 52.
Yeah, so the EG is probably working still from yesterday. Nice tail developing in the yen. What was the high? 25.66, 25.70?
25.66, yeah. 20, no.
Okay, so we talked about 25.50, 25.60 before the number. Here we are. But, you know, I'm not going to sell it into this noise. Almost anything I think you want to do, of course, there could be major reversals from here, but I don't want to be a hero. I'll let it do some work.
Yeah, 11:20 area. It's been.
Yeah, I mean, it could end up, this candle, by the time it's closed, could end up reversing.
Yeah.
The pound, though, acting better. Well, remember last year everyone was complaining about the lack of volatility?
Gold has pulled
Yeah,
back.
it's spiking.
Yeah, but it's not turning back into the green.
Not yet. Look at Canada. Is it a buy or a sell?
It's nothing. Let me
Both.
see Canadian employment.
I would buy and sell the Canada right here at the same time.
Canadian dollar data was pretty strong. Sorry,
Yeah.
Canadian dollar data. So we had a strong employment reading in Canada and a strong one in the US.
All right, well,
the pair moves.
I would think that yields are going up pretty good. I haven't seen the 10-year, but I was looking for about a 2.5 yield I've been talking about on the 10-year. So I don't know where we're at.
Participation rate in the US is higher. It's at record heights, 62.9. But nevertheless, the Fed has never, ever considered that number for a rate hike or rate cut. So the market is ignoring the number, but it's not a good number either.
Gold at critical level, Ron says. Rob Kane says, traders, get your hands off that mouse.
Yeah, that's good advice. I don't know. Euro now has a short-term resistance in this level, the previous lows. So unless we take that level, I don't even believe it can recover. And if we take 11, then I would expect another 50 pips drop Dollar Japanese yen has pulled back, and now it's back into gains after the news. And the Swiss is anticipating everyone else, posting fresh low highs as we speak. Dollar Swissy. The same goes for Aussie.
Aussie getting
Aussie will go down to 75.5. Okay, Swiss franc is leading the way. Dollar Swiss franc has extended its advance. Sorry.
Well, Adam called it.
Great for Adam.
Didn't he call it? Looking for a dollar rally, or he was going to buy the dollar on weakness.
And
It was a roulette bet.
He was what?
Red or black. Roulette. You're betting red or black on this.
Okay.
You know, the coin toss trade.
Okay, April was again revisited from 61. It was first revisited from 165 to 85, and now it has been revisited to the upside from 85 to 119. So we are getting a lot of mixed data, but I don't know. Yes, the Fed wants employment to be better.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty good number in U.S. employment report.
Yeah, the years make
the nearest month before was revised up.
Yeah, by 2000, it's really not bad.
And also Canadian employment was really good too.
But this 280, it's above the average of the previous months, the 266 I was saying. So market is taking.
So we are now in the case of not buying euro and selling dollar. Yeah, I'm buying dollar. Yeah, of course.
Guys, I just got a call from Walmart, and they offered me a job as a greeter at their store in Carlsbad. So my suit worked.
Oh, nice.
Looking forward to my career at Walmart.
We will become the employer of the month.
Yeah. So
from the first day.
Come shop at Walmart, and I'll show you what aisle you need to find your things at.
You were saying about the 10 years?
Yeah, where's it at?
Yeah, after payrolls, they jump higher 2.41.
We're almost there. Almost at 2.5. Yen keeps blowing.
Yeah, and we'll go to 26. And the euro is breaking below 11.
Yeah.
2.
Gold's giving it back.
Yeah. Go.
Well, you would think that this might support equities for another rally, this flow into the dollar here. So we'll see. They're definitely dogging it with the yen making new highs. The markets have been struggling.
Yeah.
Crude fading. Strong dollar, weak everything else.
I could have expected the pound. I'm really surprised because I would expect the pound to drop at a faster pace than the euro. But, well, I was mistaken.
Take a look at EG. It diverged yesterday at the highs and was way overdue for a correction. I mean, it could pull back to 72.20 or so. That was the breakout. So.
Sorry. I can't find my chart of euro. Here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See, probably pulling back to that purple line here. Yeah. Average hourly earnings up 0.3. Is that a good number too?
Which one? I'm sorry.
The average hourly earnings up 0.3.
It's not great, but it's better than previous and the latest we had, so it's pretty strong. 0.3 in hourly earnings is good.
Yeah, your dog got short the euro before the number wants to cover here.
You don't want to believe me, but that's not my dog. It's my across the street neighbor's dog.
Wow.
And
It's got some good vocal cords.
I hate it. It's the noisiest dog of the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go to 10.50 euro. Beware of that region, guides. 10.50, 10.60. I don't know. It seems it's
back to the pivot again.
We have lost what? Okay, 160 pips with the report nearly. So maybe the market will try to fade it against that 1050 now, just for a small upward corrective movement if it was me, but I won't fade the dollar to position. That no. When was the last time we have been in here? Yeah, like, okay, 2003. And we're about to take the 2012, the high of December, and we're at 75. So maybe we have another high near 70. Okay, 125.94. So yeah, maybe we are going to see the price settle close to 26 now.
Yeah, look at that momentum reading.
Yeah, well, that's going on almost everywhere.
Blew out the divergence on the 1 hour for sure.
Compliments to NonFarm Payrolls release.
Yeah.
I tend to give those indicators at least 2 or 3 hours to settle before I began to read them again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Euro, yes, someone saying euro dollar 1.08 is coming. Yeah, maybe
Could
not
be.
today. As I look at there, it's bouncing again as against that 110.50. But yeah, seems we are going lower in there. Let's see.
Maybe 106.
Yeah, someone's asking about selling dollar Japanese yen. Honestly, I won't be selling that pair. And as Sean says, I would buy the dip rather than sell. Wait for a retracement and try to buy against 25. But not even considering selling this one. Me, you can do whatever you want. Oil is holding pretty well. Too early news. You sorry.
Starting to get a little tail on the euro and the Swiss, not much.
Yeah.
But a little. If you're short, if you were fortunate to be short the euro here, you won't go broke taking half of your position off here and tightening your stops up and not letting a windfall turn into, you know, it's not a profit till you take it. So if you're looking for 108, maybe you're right, but maybe this is a good time to take partial profits if you came in long the dollar short euro. That's a suggestion.
If it holds below 1120 in current pullback, it may start a consolidative stage in this area in between the low and 1120, and then probably resume the slide. But if it recovers above 1120, it may correct another 30 pips higher.
Rob Kane saying 110.70 is his monthly line. 110.68 is a 4 hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that area is pretty tough. We have even a Fibonacci level in there, 38% retracement. Oh boy. All my noisy lines. There we are.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Dale. Valeria, how are you guys?
How are you?
Hi, welcome.
Hey, Adam, I saw your tweet this morning, and it turned out to be very prescient. I think you said 6 reasons to be short the euro was a tweet that came from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm heavy short the euro myself. I was one of the guys I work with, but it was one of those things. The euro had snapped up, and it was tough to short ahead of non-farm payrolls, and you never know which way it's going to come. But I believe there was going to be U.S. dollar buying after the report either way, and it came out strong, and obviously the euro's getting kicked around right now.
What were the 6 reasons?
Yeah, I mean, I'll check out the site. But I mean, the big one for me is that Greece is as bad as it's ever been, really. The can's been kicked. It was the trigger thing for me was yesterday when they decided not to make the IMF payment and punt till the end of the month. I mean, that's a threat. That's a threat not to pay at all into default, and it means negotiations aren't going very well. And now take it to the U.S. economy, and there was not really any bad signs in the U.S. economy. Nothing new that we didn't know already. And it's a good jobs report. There's no doubt about it.
Congratulations. Nice call, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, and just for the euro, it's just testing around this yesterday's lows and sort of day before yesterday's lows, and it's a pretty impressive move down already. But given the magnitude of that euro surge, Tuesday and Wednesday especially, I think it could be a quick trip all the way to 108.
Yeah, definitely decisive day here. If you were short, do you take partial profits on a day like this when you have a windfall move like that, or you just stay with things until you get to your targets?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to take a little bit of profit. I think you want to stick with it for at least a half hour here and see what the momentum's like. And if you lose a little bit on a bounce, that's trading. I mean, you have to be greedy at a time when you're right. You've been in this trade. You don't want to take that risk with a trade like non-farm payrolls, and then take a little bit of profit when you could have been on the other side of this trade. We've certainly seen big euro moves to the upside. But if you take a little bit.
Yeah, Val brought up there's a parliament meeting in Greece Saturday. There's an OPEC meeting Saturday. What are your thoughts with all these weekend events here, OPEC and the parliament in Greece? You think?
I mean, I think if it's Greek, if it's domestic, you're going to hear negative news because they're playing to the domestic audience in a meeting like that, and that is, we don't want austerity. And that means, in private is where the deal is going to be made. So Parliament is public. If it's domestic, you're going to get some negative euro news out of that. But if it's on the weekend, it can turn around before the market opens. You can't bank on anything with Greece, and you don't want to make too large of a trade on Greece. So it does argue, like you said, for a little bit of profit taking before the weekend. OPEC is another story. I mean, there's not really anything that's necessarily bearish built in. We know the production isn't going to change, and the only really thing I can see them doing is something with a little bit of jawboning, and that's bullish for oil. And if you look at the Canadian employment report today, it's very strong, and it sets up, I think, pretty nicely for some Canadian dollar longs. Maybe not dollar CAD shorts, but something else on the crosses with the Canadian dollar.
Okay, yeah. What a wild range in Canada.
Yeah, the volatility. There's just trades to be made if you're trading, and you really have to get into it on the news because it hits at exactly the same time, and you cannot fight that sort of U.S. dollar wave that just overwhelmed everything. But right after the report, it got almost all the way back to 125, and you think, well, the Canadian report was really strong, but you don't want to fight the U.S. dollar. But the volatility is there if you want to dig in your heels and trade around it. I mean, I think a lot of times you're going to get pretty tough spreads to trade on that, but yeah. There are some opportunities.
Okay. So the seasonals for June are kind of positive crude, the pound, and wasn't it Aussie?
Yeah, and when you talk about oil is another one as well. A little bit negative for stocks, as we talked about as well. Aussie, this week's been all about economic data when it comes down to it. You had good GDP numbers, which is sort of backward looking. And then retail sales came out, and the trade deficit was an all-time record, and that just killed the Aussie. And now it's all about the U.S. dollar. So I think the seasonals, they're not going to establish themselves in a heavy news week. So it's something that you want to look for. when it quiets down a little bit next week, and even more so the week after that. And yeah, Aussie is one place to look at. But like we talked about, the seasonal patterns aren't especially strong this month, except for really oil and stocks. So those are two of the better ones, and long on oil, short on stocks. And I think OPEC can play into that. But again, the news is always going to be more important than the seasonals. Just really amazing move in the dollar. It hasn't given back much yet, just to keep it live. Still right at 111 in the euro.
So 108 is your next level that you consider critical?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the next level, but if we can get below 1075, and I think it might take some time now. It looks like it wants to pop back up, but maybe sell at 111.50 if it gets back up to there. I expect to see some heavy selling. I don't expect to see it come back above that unless something happens in the eurozone, and then I think we will get that second push. The market wants to love the U.S. dollar, wants to believe in the U.S. dollar. Massive short squeeze on the euro this week, and I don't. That obviously everybody got a little bit burned who was short euro dollar this week, but I think there's still the money there that wants to pile in and drive the euro down and believes it's going to parity.
Acting that way. The U.S. market, the indices are negative in June. Normally a strong dollar will translate into being supportive for U.S. equities. They're at some real important support levels. To me, it looks like if they're going to hold, they better get going right here.
Yeah, well, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen today. The dollar's strong today. That's cue to sell equities. Fed. There's going to be talk about a September rate hike now. So it's going to be another tough day, I think, for the stock market. It's been a strange week in a lot of ways. It was just sell everything. I mean, sold bonds, sold stocks, sold commodities even later in the week.
So you think Yellen is not going to listen to Christine Lagarde and wait till next year?
If you were not like the dollar, you would have to expect some negative news coming. And it wasn't just Lagarde this week. It was Brainerd, who's the Fed governor. Now, she was named about a year ago, but hadn't said almost anything on the economy for the full year. And they just take their time getting their feet wet. The Fed governors, it's an 8-year term, so not a big rush. And she came out very dovish this week. And then Tarullo, who's a Fed governor who almost always talks only about regulation, came out and he was quite dovish as well. So there is some caution at the Fed that wasn't there before, but that can change very quickly with a good employment report and some other decent economic data and news this week.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, pleasure to hop on, and it's just a great week to trade live in the markets, and the volatility is just amazing. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, Adam. Has been a pleasure.
Anytime. I congratulate you guys on these live hangouts. I think it's an awesome format. Anything new is always tough to do, but got to stick with the technology, and I think it's a great format for readers and followers at Forex Live and FX Street.
So you can follow Adam's work at FX_Button and at Forex Live. Don't fade Adam Button. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Adam Button is the FX Street Man of the Year, so don't fade it.
Yeah, you took my award, buddy.
I hate it. Come on.
You deserve it, man.
Okay, Valeria, do you have any questions?
No. I was thinking that I'm a woman, so I can be the woman of the year, and no one can.
Yeah, you are, Val. You're the woman of the decade.
Yeah.
In my eyes, anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah. We got a last question about the gold. Is somebody asking about the gold? What is your thought on the gold?
Yeah. I think it's just wait and see. It's been a tough trade. I mean, we thought up at 1220 when it was up there 2 weeks ago that it was going to go, and the Fed just wasn't dovish enough to make it move. Now on the downside, it's still even a little bit sticky here today, but it looks like it could go. And that's what I see happening. If bonds selling off a little bit, gold down. It's a cautious trade though. Even today, quick move down, and half of it's already given back. But as the downside of that range goes, I think you can dip your toes in and try to hang on to the shorts.
Maybe we have to flush out the bulls under 1140 first, Adam. What do you think?
Yeah, it kind of did that a little bit when it popped up over 1220, and it got a little bit of enthusiasm going. Thought, well, maybe Yellen's going to be a bit more dovish. The economy's not doing so well, but this probably was the economic scare that got people thinking about pushing out liftoff farther into, or even into 2016. And I think now it's sell if the Fed's hawkish. So maybe wait until you have Yellen come out and say we're happy with the economy, or we're on track. But they're so data dependent that maybe you just have to believe that it's coming, because it might miss the trade if not.
Well, the 240 10-year yield pressures at 2. I was talking 2.5. We're almost there, Adam.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
There's bond trade is something else, though. I mean, the Bund, the spreads, whatever's happening there, and it's tough to put your finger on it. It's not, I like to come out here and say that everyone knows everything, but when Bund's, it was the second worst 2-day period ever for the Bund, at least on record. 34 basis points higher, from 50 to 88, and it didn't make a lot of sense then, and it doesn't really now. It's just a squeeze. And the ECB is buying, and Treasuries got caught up in it. I think ultimately the path is higher in Treasuries, but what's happening in Bunds can pull it down temporarily, and it makes for a tricky trade. I think right now, if you're trading Europe, you have to keep one eye on the German bond market.
Okay, and also they're talking about liquidity issues. Having been a commodity broker for years, the spread on the bond and the note used to be 1 tick, and the bid offer, there's some error in it in the last month or so. Could that illiquidity spread to other markets?
Liquidity. It's a strange thing, and it's there. It's not like it was if you're making huge trades. But at the same time, it's one of those things that people say, that talk a lot about when it's not really making sense what's happening in the market. I mean, just low liquidity isn't necessarily a reason to sell, and it's been just selling. So I get it, and it's a problem, and the ECB is taking up a lot of supply, but there's still supply there. The Fed isn't buying anymore in treasuries. It's just one of those things you really have to keep a close eye on and try to get on the right side of the trade, because something is definitely happening in the bond market. And it's liquidity, yes, it's Fed rate hikes, yes, maybe Europe's a little bit better, but none of that really justifies the magnitude of bond selling we've seen this week.
Well, that's what happens when a rubber band stretches far beyond people's expectations and then readjusts to the mean. But I'm telling you, Adam, in the bond pit, it was one of the most liquid pits, heaviest dollar volume pits in Chicago, and there used to be just, a 32nd or a 64th between the bid and offer, and locals are not seeing that kind of. There's big spreads between trades.
Yeah, no,
that's strange to me.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I will ask you a 1 minute approach about what happened and what will happen in the next week after this NFP. If you can,
Great.
Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go through non-farm payrolls, you have strong jobs growth, strong wage growth, strong-ish wage growth anyway, decent revisions, unemployment rate ticked up a little bit, but there's not a big deal there. So it's really an unambiguously strong non-farm payrolls report. And the temptation is to fight something after a 100+ pip move in the dollar right across the board. But you have a breakout that's now confirmed in dollar-yen. That's a major story. That is probably the trade right now, is to be long in that. And I just like the dollar right across the board. You had this pullback in the dollar this week against the euro, in a few other places, and I think now the dollar trend reasserts itself. But every data point is big news right now, and the trade for me is to go with go where the economic data says. That's what the Fed says it wants to do, is follow the economic data. On good news, buy the dollar as quickly as you can and go with it. And I think on bad news, if you believe in the U.S. economy, and I do, and I think the market does, is you try to buy U.S. dollar dips on that. So I think long dollars, it's an old trade, and the trend is your friend, and it's just a matter of sticking with it and riding it.
Good review.
Okay, thank you, thank you, Alan. Thank you for coming with us. Yeah, you will be welcome here in the Life Analysis Room anytime. You are the man.
Thank you. Mucho gusto.
Thank you. So, Valeria, can you give us your thoughts?
Well, I was thinking that for the most, I do agree with what has said. I do believe the market wants to believe in the greenback, and at the end of the day, it's something that we have been discussing and talking with Dale ever since the year started. Sorry, it's about the central bank imbalances, right? While most of the economies are doing stimulus, are trying to add more stimulus, or considering even that the Fed is the only central bank which is in the path of rising rates, tightening its economic policy compared to the rest that are still struggling. I still worry to believe that this single payroll reading will be enough to convince the market it's time to resume dollar buying. We had late May a strong inflation report, and nevertheless the market reversed those gains yesterday, although it's resuming the dollar advance today. So that's left me a bit hesitant about if it's the right time to go for a long run in dollar bull rally. But anyway, bottom line is that I will be more concerned about Greek headlines this week, the upcoming week, rather than whatever happens with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is in spot and will continue there, and this data supports it. But we have no clue of what Syriza's, Varoufakis, and all those authorities in Europe will be doing with Greece next week. So I will be a bit more concerned of that. Maybe if they finally come to an agreement, we may see an euro rally, and well, maybe that will be the time to fade that rally and go back towards a greenback, at least there. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Valeria. And Dale, your final thoughts?
Well, guys, I featured the dollar index earlier this week when we were trading around the 95, 94.5 level, and I talked about the potential that we were not going to take out the May lows, and equality of magnitude would take the dollar index back to the 99.5, 99 level. So that scenario is looking more and more likely, and but I think it could be a failing rally. I'm thinking 106.5 in the euro is going to be an interesting level for me to fade the dollar, and that's my take. I'm flat today. I'm going to be flat going into the weekend, and look forward to letting markets set up and tell me what to do. I wasn't as brave as, and I'm never as brave as Adam Button to trade these news events, and my hat goes off to anyone that does, because it's a very high stress type of trade to do, and I'm old now. I'm trying to reduce it. So, but definitely the Dixie held. That scenario is playing out, and we're getting pullbacks in EG, and we'll see what next week brings. But you have to have it. Hand your hat over to the dollar and to the number, and even I'm not going to fade this stuff today.
Okay, thank you, Dale.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Valeria. That is the Woman of the Year, and thanks, Adam. That is the Man of the Year, and thanks, Dale. That is the Host or the Squirrel of the Year.
Thank you, and you're the Wingman of the Year, Mauricio. Thanks for putting this together, and I want to thank everyone for choosing us for their coverage of the NFP. And it was great having Adam here on the crew for this important number. And
and I also want to extend an invitation for next Monday. We will have Martin Armstrong.
Oh, yeah, big interview.
Really nice guest here, so everybody will enjoy that interview with Dale. Yeah, come on. And right now we will turn into the live analysis room. So, Dale, all
Okay.
yours.
All right. Have a great weekend, Adam. Val, nice working with you three
Thank
times.
you.
Mauricio, I'll see you in the room. Everyone join us. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions, and in LAR we show a lot of screenshots of people's ideas, and it's a pretty good mastermind community. So check it out. You'll like the price. It's free.
Okay, bye-bye. Good
All
weekend.
right.
Bye-bye. Peace. Have a
Adios,
good
everyone.
weekend. Adios. Ciao.
See ya.